Hello, and welcome back to another development video. Today we're taking a look at the game's Compendium. The Compendium is one of those features for those that are wanting to look at the details of each available thing in the game, and also offers a means of making sure that they've collected everything available in the game. If I press Tab and go over to the Compendium option on the menu, I'm given a layout of all my unlocked hosts. I'm able to sort this information by clicking along the top. I'm able to keep it in its conventional numeric order. I'm able to sort it alphabetical, the class, who has the most health, has the highest defense, who has the highest speed, the amount of damage a character does on their basic attack, how many frames it takes to do their basic attack, and how long you've played as each individual character. You're also able to check resolve of each character. Resolve is the likelihood that that character will fight an enemy. What the game does is divides the host's current HP by their max HP, multiplies that number by 100 to get a whole number, and subtracts 100 from that number. If that final number is higher than the resolve, they'll retreat. If it is lower, they will stay and fight. So here I have, for example, an infantry, a witch, and a barbarian. All have high resolve. If they're near enough to enemies, rather than doing what they would normally do, they'll follow the enemies and begin to fight. Characters with 0 resolve will of course always run away, and ones with 100 will always fight. I call the system the fight-or-flight mechanic. Anyways, back to the Compendium. If I sort by resolve, the Guardian is at the top with NA as their resolve, since they do not move, but simply stand still. Therefore, they sort of have the highest resolve, but it's also not really calculated, and they don't chase anyone, so I kinda just left it not applicable and put it at the top. Another NA is on the basic attacks. If I sort by basic attack and scroll down to the bottom, I have a new host, the monk, who has NA for attack and frames for attack. You might be wondering what that means. If I go back to the host screen and scroll down to the monk, their attack is contemplation, and the symbol next to it is IV, or 6. If I hold shift and look to see what IV means, the basic attack is a unique attack, meaning it does not do damage in a traditional sense. If I go back to the hub world and swap to the monk and use my basic attack, rather than a normal attack happening, the monk contemplates between the mercy and the wrath of the divine. These will either be used to buff your allies or debuff your enemies. Rather than simply using the special to activate the attack, or the attack itself doing the attack, the monk, when using its special, begins to pray. And the longer you pray, the more mana you expend, but the higher the percent is that that prayer will be answered. If you use all 50 of the monk's mana, it is a guarantee to be heard. But you have a 2% chance to get to use a powerful prayer for just 1 mana point. Let's use the Wrath to show off the debuff system on enemies. We'll enter the forest here and go to green fields. One thing to note about the monk is that since it doesn't have a basic attack, if it's near an enemy, it won't be able to do anything. One strategy I've kind of developed is to go and swap to someone like the barbarian, who will chase enemies, and then use that time to go and contemplate and pray to be able to charge up the wrath. Once this prayer is answered, I can swap to the barbarian and spawn back the monk. Now I can come here and utilize the wrath special. So we have these balls of flames that spin around the monk, and when it attacks an enemy, a brief debuff appears and their health drains quickly. If we want to learn more about what that debuff exactly does, we're able to go and open up the menu and look at the Compendium. So we looked at the host option in the Compendium, but we're also able to view the status effects. If we hover over the fire here under debuffs, we see Wrath, and the effect is minus 30 HP per second for 3 seconds, and we used it on 4 enemies. We're able to view all the status effects that we have used so far, and those we haven't used are left as question marks. We're also able to view hostile creatures. So same thing, if we haven't viewed them, they're question marks. And if we have, you can view their health, their speed, their attack, the amount of EP you get from killing them, and also how many you have killed so far in the game. Likewise, there's items, which you can view how many you've collected, what they do. And lastly, along the bottom here, you're able to see the completion percentage for each of the sections. On the note of completion, I can go to Stats and view the completion progress. These are all the things a player needs to do to 100% the game. The stats also scroll perfectly down one by one in alphabetical order. Along the very bottom, I also have the total playtime marked. This concludes the development video. Thank you for watching. Also, there's the witch, and I had the witch's spell that has a chance of having a cat cloud, and it turns enemies into cats. Look at that. It's cat cloud. That's like a purple cloud, and just like it debuffs them, that's less cool, but like, look at that. It's a freaking cat cloud. Look at that. A cat turned to a chunk cat. What is that? Oh, do I have catnip? I don't think I have catnip. No, I don't have catnip. But look at them. They're cats, and they're in the woods. What are they doing out there? I don't even know. Wild.